Welcome. As you can tell, I'm a pretty big fisherman. I enjoy ice fishing, as along with fishing in the summertime. I go through a lot of live bait. A problem with having live bait is keeping it alive long enough to use. So today I'm going to show you how I made a 20-gallon bait live well. I'm going to be building a live well that contains a BioFilter. And that will keep your bait alive much longer than just keeping it in a bucket with an air stone on. Okay, keep watching. Hope you enjoy.
Okay, basically what I'm doing is building a shiner tank, a bait live well to hold shiners, and I'm going to use a 20-gallon capacity sump basin with a lid. A little more mobile than a 55-gallon drum. What you need to support shiners for long term is a biofilter, and I'm going to show you how I made my biofilter. This biofilter here is obviously it's made out of PVC. It's a two-chamber. I started with 4-inch PVC and I necked it down to 3-inch PVC into two different parts. And I'll explain how I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to take this apart. It's not glued together for obvious reasons, so I can show you how it works. I'm going to set this piece aside. Now, this piece here is the 4-inch PVC. This is going to be my inlet where my water goes in. It's a 1/2-inch inside diameter nipple, and I'm going to use 1/2-inch hose, and I'm going to connect those with stainless steel hose clamps. Now, the reason I went with the 4-inch is because I can easily reach my hand in to remove the filter mount. I put an end cap on it, so easy access, and all the threads on this and this cap I will use thread tape on to prevent it from leaking. Now, the first part of your filter, what you need is your filter matter to collect the large particulates. So what I did basically is I went to the store and I bought some of these filter pads. You can get these anywhere it sells pond stuff from your outdoor ponds, or pet stores carry stuff like this. And I took a square one like this, and then I cut circles out of it so that it would fit inside this 4-inch PVC. Now all I'm going to do basically is slide this all the way in. Now in the end you can see I put a drain cap. I just sanded it down a little bit so that it would fit inside there. I'll glue that right in so that my filter, the water pressure, doesn't push my filter into the other side. Okay, sorry about that. I had to get the phone, the wife called. Back to the filter. Now, I had cut 2 circles of this finer foam filter mat. I'm going to just slide those in there. As you can see, they fit in there relatively tightly. Then I'm going to go, same thing, I bought this mat here also at the same place. I cut circles out of it. This is a little bit wider open pores in there. That's going to collect, like I said, the bigger particulates. I'm going to stick 2 of those in. There's one. Here's the other. You just push these in. Like I said, now these here are going to be the filters that you change more frequently. That's going to grab all of the big particles, as you can see it right in there. Now, another thing that they have at the pet store is a carbon-infused filter mat. You can buy it in sheets. I went ahead and I cut one of those, and this stuff's it's kind of dirty. I'm not going to put in right at the moment. Then, obviously, this here, we'll go back on here. Your water then is going to be forced down through here and through that layer of filter mats that I have here. Now, the bio part is going to be this section here, and again I put a drain end cap on the end of this, and it's going to fit right into the inside of this right here. Now this will get glued together. Like I said, my water is going to come in here, it's going to travel through my filter mat, and then it's going to go through here and come out the other end. Now this piece here is I put together with a male and a female piece so that I could access it also. Access is pretty important for cleaning. Now, there are different types of substrate that you can put in here. And basically what the substrate does is it creates a lot of surface area for beneficial bacteria to grow. So as your water goes through the filters, you pull out all the big particles. You're going to clean these frequently. And then as it goes through the substrate, the bacteria that grows on them will remove the harmful stuff for the fish. Now, as far as substrate goes, pardon me, you can use scouring pads, and these here you can buy relatively inexpensive. And these here you can see, you can just kind of push these down in to your filter, and they fit pretty snug. You can put as many of these in as you want. But obviously, the more surface area that you have, the more bacteria that you're going to have grown that's actually going to clean your water. Now, besides the scouring pads, you can use stainless steel scouring pads. You know, they're about the same size, probably have about the same amount of surface area, maybe a little easier to clean, but it doesn't really matter. Now, other types of substrate that you can use, you could use, these are just common household bath loofahs. You can use those. And at the pet stores also you can get, these are little bio balls for filters. And if you can see that right there, they're tiny little round balls that have tons of surface area in them. Like I said, you can buy those. They're a little more expensive than buying your regular scouring pads. Now, like I said, I have this in two sections because it's easier for access. You can just plug these completely full. Now, another thing that you can add also to cut down on the harmful stuff for your fish is activated charcoal. Now, you can get these mesh bags, any hardware store, probably at the supermarket, I would think, even like your wife's nylon or pantyhose or something. You can cut the end off of that and make yourself a little bag. This has some activated charcoal and stuff in it to cut back on ammonia. And you can just go ahead and plug one of these in there. And then basically all you're going to do is screw this back together. Now, like I said, I would use pipe thread tape to make sure that doesn't leak. So there you have it. Now, like I said, I would have this all glued together, but for showing purposes, I left it unglued. That's it. And basically what I would do is I would either mount this to a board or onto the wall, or I could just mount this directly onto the side of my basin for my bait. Now, one part of the BioFilter that I didn't mention here, you can buy tablets for in a pond that have the bacteria in them. They come with a blend of beneficial bacteria, enzymes, and like natural barley and stuff. And that will help get your biofilter started. The flora probably won't be growing on your substrate it'd probably take a couple weeks, 3 or 4 weeks to get a culture growing in there to filter your water properly so that it's clear. So it may be a little cloudy initially until you get the beneficial bacteria growing on your substrate. Okay, that's the filter part of my shiner tank.
Okay, now, my biofilter, as you can see right here, I changed the design a little bit. Before I had made it straight, and then after looking at the tank itself, I decided to go ahead and all I did was incorporated an elbow in the bottom of it to conserve some space. Okay, so there's my biofilter. The water comes up out of the center of the Livewell, goes into the biofilter. The water is forced down through the elbow, up out the top, and then back down into the sump tank. Now, as far as the sump tank, I used all stainless steel hardware on it so that it wouldn't rust. I used a couple tube holders to guide my wires so they don't get tangled or drop into the water. Now, as far as my biofilter goes, these here are just standard PVC holders that you can buy in any hardware store. They'll be right with the PVC that you buy. The lid itself, as you can see, I cut here and here, and then just added the hinges to it so that the lid would hinge open and closed. Okay, now here is the inside of my bait Livewell. I wired in a 12-volt waterproof blue LED light that is specifically made for bait live wells. Basically all I have down inside here, I have a water pump, a submersible water pump that is for a pond or a water fountain, and you can buy those anywhere. You can buy pond stuff or garden fountains. Basically the water's being pumped up here out to my biofilter, and then it's coming back out of my biofilter here through this hose. And as you can see, I have the hose curved around the inside of the basin. And what that is going to do is that is going to cause a current to flow in a circular motion inside the bait live well, and then that's going to give a current for the bait fish to swim around. Okay, one other thing, you need to have air in your live well. So basically all I did was I have an air line right here, as you can see, little tube, and that's connected to a regular old fish tank air pump. And I have it going down, and down here at the bottom you can see right here the air line's going right into the back of an air stone. That will incorporate some oxygen into the water that the fish need to live. I fastened it with the hoses with some tube connectors, and I used all stainless steel nuts and bolts so that they won't rust. And as you can see on the door here also, everything I used was stainless steel. And that's the inside of my live well. Okay, and there you have it. We got the air on, we got the water pump on, we got no leaks, we got good flow. That should make for some happy shiners. Okay, there we go. There's my homemade bait live well, 20-gallon capacity. I hope it works out for you, and thanks for watching.